Okay, folks, this is just going to be a quick video about what a function is, just the basics, and also a little bit about function notation. I think both of these things can be talked about fairly quickly. Okay, um, when you go to a pop machine and you put in some money, okay, so you put in some money. Oh boy, I shouldn't even try drawing money here. I'll just draw that. Actually, nowadays things are more expensive. So when you put in some money in a pop machine, you should get what you're asking for, which is 1 can of pop. Okay? If you were to put in some money and get 2 cans of pop, that would mean the machine is not functioning, right? I mean, you'd be happy. You'd have 2 cans of pop, or if you're being healthy, 2 cans of apple juice or 2 smoothies. Although you can't really buy smoothies from pop machines, and if you can, it's probably not very good smoothie. But anyway, the machine is not functioning if you're getting 2 cans of whatever it is you wanted. Okay? In math, the definition of a function is that you will get one output or one number based for each number that you put in. Okay? So for example, if you put in a random number, it's your choice. If you put in the number 1, where x is, okay? If you put in the number 1 there, this is called a table of values. Well, 3 times 1 is 3, plus 5 is 8. Okay? If you put in another number, basically we just got one number here, right? If we put in a 0, well, that would be 3 times 0 plus 5. You would just get a 5. Okay, and so on. When you graph this thing, let me just erase this stuff. When you graph this particular equation right here, maybe you forget how to draw this thing. It's a linear graph. This is the y-intercept right here, and this is the slope. Okay, just in case you forgot from past math courses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You put a little dot there. Actually, I'll make it look a little nicer. And then the slope is 3, and there's nothing underneath it. 3 over 1, okay? There is a 1 under there, the rise over the run. Maybe these are words that are coming back to you. 1, 2, 3, and 1. Here we go. From this y-intercept, you go up 3 and 1 across, and you can draw a line. Okay? So no matter what x value you pick, like here's -1. If you look up, you just get one value of y. If you have a 1 and you go up, only one value of y, whatever that happens to be. No matter where you go on the x-axis, you're eventually going to get up, hit the line, you're going to go across and just get one number. So when you have that situation, that is called a function. Okay? So the next video that comes after this is going to have something called the vertical line test. Not the video lottery terminal, okay? We're not teaching gambling here, but it's called the vertical line test. And the next video on the vertical line test will show you how to quickly look at a function and tell if it's a function or not. So let's say you had a graph, an equation given to you like this. Y equals x squared plus 2, and you graph that really quickly. You could use like Desmos to graph that, but anyway, it would be a parabola. It would look like this. Is this a function? Well, if you look up here, if you have, let's say, -2, for example, and you go up, it only hits one spot, okay? It hits whatever value that happens to be. Let's say that's, I don't know, let's say it's like 4 up here, okay? No matter where you go on this x-axis, when you look up and you go across, it's just going to be one value of y each time, okay? And that is the explanation of what a function is, okay? For every value of x, you're getting one unique value for y. And again, the vertical line test will help explain this better. Let's move on to what the heck function notation is. If you have a function, there's a way of writing it, and often instead of y, they will use a letter f. maybe because it's a function, but they'll say the function at x is equal to 3x plus 5. This is just, when you're seeing this, you can pretend that it's just y if you want to, but this is just a symbol to say the function at x, okay? Or they might say f at x, and they don't have to use the letter x. They might have said g at x is 3x plus 5. But the important thing is with function notation, it's going to have this letter, usually f or g, and then something in brackets with an x in there, okay? So if someone said, what is the value of this function at 2? You would write it like this. The function at 2 is 3, and instead of x, you're going to put 2 there, plus 5. Okay, so by the way, 3 plus 2 is 6, plus 5. The answer would be 11. Okay, the function at 2 is equal to 11. Okay, so let's try another question here. Actually, I was just going to change it. Let's say g at 6. What would that be? Well, you just put a 6 wherever you see x. So that'd be like saying 3 times 6 plus 5. 3 times 6 is 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So g at 6 is 23. Okay, so function notation is just a situation where instead of writing y equals x squared, you're going to have f at x, or f of x, equals x squared. Okay, so it just looks a little bit different. And don't be scared by it. It's just a way of writing. It's called a notation. Okay, there's nothing you have to do here. You don't have to say, I have to get rid of the x, so I have to divide both sides by x to get rid of, or by f to get rid of the f and get x by itself. No, you don't do any algebra to this. This is just a symbol. Okay, over here's where you do the work. If you hate this stuff really badly, of course you can just rewrite it. If someone gives you a question like that, you can just say, I'm going to write it like this instead. Instead of f at x or f of x, I'm going to put just a y there instead, if it's really bugging you. Okay, well that's what function notation is, and now you know a little bit about what a function is. Okay, so if your teacher asks you, is this a function? Well, if you were to pick one value of x, let's say you're at 2 here, and you went up, you would get a value for y, but the problem is you also get another, you get 2, it's like getting 2 pops. You put the money in here, and you get 2 pops. Okay? Look at the vertical line test video if you want to have a very quick way of knowing if something, like a graph, is a function or not. Thank you for listening. Take care.